hope these people can help me with my computer. Oh.
A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You can upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config board should be set to ID 6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte to call for help. May I help you? What was that? Hey, welcome to Call for Help. Did you run into somebody on your way in? Okay. Did you apologize to them? Okay, good. Welcome to Call for Help. This is Leo Laporte, and don't worry, no floor directors were injured in the production of this television program. This is the show where we answer your computer questions. We're here every single day. We're here live, as you might have gathered by now, because that little moment would have been edited out long ago if we weren't. This is the show where we talk about high tech, we explain the personal confuser, we do it in plain English, and we help you get the most out of your computer. And I'll tell you what, I love this show because it's really a chance for me to learn along with you and really to get our hands in on the technology. We're going to do that today. We've got some fun stuff for you. But first, let me tell you how to participate. Because among other things, this is your show. It's a two-way street. Without you, there is no show. It's your questions that drive this program. So you can give me a ring, and we have a toll-free number just for you, 888-989-7879. The show's live 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're watching during the live broadcast, that would be a good time to call. You can also email me. You can do that anytime. I always like to get that email. And the email address right there is callforhelp@zdtv.com. And let me see. We go out and check the email. I'll check it right now every 5 minutes during the show. Yep, must have just checked it. Just one message, new message in there. And if you send me a message before the show's over, I certainly will see it. And that's always a great way to get me some more information. If I say something you disagree with, or you've got additional information for an answer, I really appreciate that. That's one of the ways I learn on this show. Also, of course, the chat room is one of the ways we have fun on this show. These are the kids in the back of the class, the wiseacres who just couldn't resist the snide comment. They're there in the chat room, and you could be there too. ZDTV.com/callforhelp's the website. Click on in there, and I'm in there too, and during the breaks I'll come in and say hi. A lot of fun. Today on Call for Help, we're wrapping up New Year's Resolution Week in the same way we started it, by focusing on your health and exercise. So far, we've covered websites and software. Today, Marty Sargent's here to show us some cool gadgets you can hook up to your computer to help you get fit and have a little fun at the same time. There's one I cannot wait to try. It really looks great. Plus, it's also a big week for our Mac fans. Mac World Expo has been going on all week long here in San Francisco. Mac expert, one of my favorite Mac guys, Andy Iannacco, is here. He has searched the expo floor for the latest and greatest gadgets, and he's brought in a whole armload of stuff. We'll see what he found at Mac World Expo a little later on in the show. But let's get to our first call of the day. And that's David from Linden, New Jersey. Hello, David.
Hi, Leo.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. What can I do for you?
I've been hearing about the new Windows 2000.
Yes. And
I would like to know what the difference is between the Windows 98 and that one.
I am so glad you asked. I've been dying to tell somebody. I've been buttonholing people going, hey, have I told you about Windows 2000 yet? The difference between Windows 98? Ha, ha, ha. And everybody goes, no, I don't want to go away. This is really important because I think the way Windows 2000 is built, people are going to get a little confused about what it is. It sounds like Windows 98, they didn't do anything in 99. 2000 must be the successor to Windows 98, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not. It's actually the successor to Windows NT. The successor to Windows 98, they're calling Millennium. That's the code name anyway. They may change that name when they finally release it.
Mm-hmm.
And Millennium is expected to be released, well, you never know. I was going to say this year, but knowing the way Microsoft works, probably 2001, okay? But let's take a look at Windows 2000 because I think, believe it or not, even though Microsoft doesn't intend it for home users, they really think of it as a business operating system. And they're charging a lot of money for it, about $350 for it. Yeah, it's expensive. But there's an upgrade from Windows 98, but I think that's still like $200. But even though they're doing that, I think a lot of end users, people like you, might actually want to take a look at it. Here's why. Windows NT and Windows 98 are really different branches of the same tree. They run mostly the same software. They run on the same hardware. Almost any PC that can run Windows 98 can run Windows 2000. The difference is Windows 2000 is designed not to run the earliest older Windows 3.1 programs. It has to be a more modern program, so not all software runs on it. but almost all Windows 98 software will run on it, and certainly any software designed for NT will run on it. But the good news is, by leaving behind the old days, Microsoft's done a wonderful thing. They've made it much more reliable. See, there's a trade-off between compatibility and reliability. Windows 98 is really compatible with all the old software, but it's not so reliable. Whereas NT is less compatible with the old software, but it's really reliable. I've been using Windows 2000, a pre-release version of it, for about 3 months. It's totally robust, doesn't crash. And the nice thing is now they've got it so it's the same user interface as 98. It runs many of the same programs. And because it doesn't crash, I think, to me, you know, we always talk about ease of use and friendliness. I think the most important feature for user friendliness is not crashing. I mean, there's nothing worse for a user, an inexperienced or a novice user, than having their computer die on them.
If it uses almost all the same things as the Windows, as the previous ones, then why does it cost so much?
Well, because it's designed for businesses, not end users, and they think they can charge that much. It's 40 million lines of code. It's a really big program. They've been working really hard. Here's a couple of reasons not to get it. It doesn't support all the games and all the home software that people expect to use. It supports Microsoft Office. Most new games work on it. Most new hardware works on it. It requires a more powerful PC. I'd say 128 megs of RAM minimum and a Pentium 2 400 minimum to use it at a good speed. On the other hand, if you have that much power, it really is a great operating system. Very robust, easy to use, because it looks just like Windows 98. So when it comes out, and it won't be out now until February or March. I think it's due next month. When it comes out, we'll spend more time talking about it. We'll get a better idea of whether it's right for end users. But I think ultimately it may be a good choice, even for end users, especially for inexperienced end users, because it doesn't crash. It's much more reliable. Hey, I'm really glad you called. We're going to talk more about it. We'll be covering it, of course, when it comes out in February, both on this show and on the Screensavers. But you'll be sick to death of it by the time we finish our coverage. But you'll at least know by then whether you want to buy it or not. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Coming up next, Mac users, hold on to your hats. If you thought Windows 2000 sounded good, wait till you see OS 10. The operating system you've loved for all these years is about to make a major change, and I think for the better. We'll talk about the ramifications, the pros and cons of OS 10, and look at all the cool products that Andy has brought us from Macworld Expo. The call for help continues. You stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. This year's Macworld Expo is winding down here in San Francisco one more day, Saturday. And the biggest news came from who else? Steve Jobs. Among the many new announcements, there's something that's going to rock the world of any Mac user. The new, completely revised operating system, OS 10. One we've been waiting for some time. Here to discuss OS 10 and show us some of the nifty stuff he found on the showroom floor, Mac pundit, creator of the Macquarium, the guy who built our Macquarium, Andy Ihnatko. There it is, Andy. It's still working, and those are the same fish you left in there. We do not replace them every week.
A very proud legacy.
Yes, you created the idea for the Macquarium.
It went everywhere and all times, but I standardized it. I'm still like Bill Gates. I'm the one getting all the rewards out of it.
Yes, and did you have a good Macworld Expo?
Tiring, exhausting, but also exhilarating.
Yeah.
One of the most positive expos in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Let's start with OS 10. And, you know, I was just talking about Windows 2000. It's an analogous situation for Apple. In order to move ahead, I guess all companies are going to have to do this. You're going to have to leave behind the old applications and the old hardware, right?
Pretty much. Steve Jobs made one little jab at Microsoft by saying that unlike our competitors, we're going to have just one operating system instead of supporting 3 or 4, which is good for Apple and maybe good for the big people in the industry, but also means that a lot of people are either going to have to run the same applications for the rest of their lives, or they're going to have to upgrade their Macintoshes.
If you have a pre-G3 Mac, you will not be able to use this new operating system.
Exactly.
Period.
You'll be stuck with OS 8 or even OS 9.
Right. Will Apple continue to do bug fixes and patches for those older operating systems?
Unknown at this time. It looks like they're not going to do anything that will be fatal to whatever you have to do with your old versions of the operating system, but certainly you're not going to expect to get anything new out of the deal.
Right. Including new browsers, because many of the new browsers require the new operating system. Nonetheless, you get some great benefits from OS 10. In fact, we're going to take a look at OS 10 as Steve Jobs demonstrated on the show floor. And by the way, the first thing I noticed, it looks a lot like the Finder. Is the Finder view back? Because I know they were thinking about getting rid of it.
That was one of the big lulls he put over the crowd when he noticed about he talked about changing the look and the feel of the operating system. Everyone was really pleased to see that there's a lot of the look of the old Finder, although there's some flourishes. What you saw there.
It's pretty. I like the shadows behind the windows.
Exactly, the touches. They're really exploiting the power of the G4. And you saw things like now when you drag a window, the contents are dragged with you. You don't just get an outline, so you can still see what's going on. And there's a little drop shadow, and there's going to be little buttons that will pulse instead of simply the outline to remind you that this is going to be the default button. It will take far too long to really get into all of it, but all kinds of very little touches that, as a whole, and being defined by Apple's people, will really change the way that you work with your Macintosh. It's really a year 2000 operating system.
Yeah, well, and Microsoft has to do the same thing. You have to start looking ahead at the new stuff. It's going to come out this summer? Is that what they're saying?
It's supposed to come out this summer. This is the first time he's locked down a release date, so we don't think he's going to slip on this one.
Right. And then it'll be shipping with all the new Macs by the end of the year. Is that
exactly.
Right?
By this time next January, every single new Macintosh that's shipped will ship with OS X.
Okay, OS X. How about the software for OS X? I mean, part of for OS X to work, everybody needs to redo their software, right?
Pretty much. Basically, there are going to be three different kinds of software now. If you have old software, it'll still run, but all these old applications will run in this special little box of memory, because one of the wonderful new things about X is that now one piece of software crashing won't take the whole thing down, but they have to be rewritten to take care of that. Apple has a process called carbonization that takes only a small amount of time for a programmer to take an old application and carbonize it. This will mean that it'll run in protected memory. It'll have the look and feel, what's called the Aqua look of the new operating system. It'll have certain other features too, but it's not going to take the full advantage of OS X unless you rewrite it for OS X. And once you write it for OS X, it's not going to run on anything.
Now, I'm sure Adobe and all the Apple stalwarts will develop for OS X. You're calling it X. Is it X or 10?
People are calling it X.
X is the new thing?
It's hip. It's cool.
For a long time, I've been calling it 10. I thought I was hip and cool. So it's X now, huh?
Well, remember, OS 9 came out for another platform 10 years ago. It looks like we only made one better in 10 years.
Okay.
We can't stand that.
OS X.
It's arrogant to let that go.
Is the big one. Is Microsoft going to develop its Office for OS X?
Microsoft is really excited about this. Explorer is going to be the first direct-to-X application they're going to do, but they are going to eventually have Office and all their other products done specifically for X.
That's really good. I can't wait. I will absolutely upgrade the minute OS X.
It electrifies the whole conference.
I'm very excited. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Macworld Expo without a little Microsoft bashing. Here's one of the T-shirts you see on the show floor. It's a little Monopoly guy.
It's childish and it's counterproductive, but it does make a nice T-shirt, doesn't it?
Let's see some other fun stuff that you brought back from Macworld Expo. USB is big because Apple's gone big time into the USB arena.
Now FireWire and USB are the de facto standards, and everybody's embracing them. What you have there is, I think, one of the nicest USB hubs I've ever seen. Instead of being this cheap $10 throwaway item, it's only about $10 or $20 more. But in addition, it has a metal heat sink, so it won't overheat.
I like that.
These don't just light up to tell you there's something to plug in. It'll also tell you how much load there is on it, how much data is being gone through it.
That's important to know.
So exactly. So if you have a crash or your tablet isn't working anymore, if you see it's pegged into the red zone, you know that something is hammering this port, and that's probably what's getting the problem.
We saw these at Comdex. This is from Belkin. These are the stackable USB hubs. I love these.
The problem is that you have the USB hub. It's not just that, but Action Zone. You also have to have the SCSI converter, really, if you have a new machine. I got to take this back. You also have to have all things. Now, normally, if you don't play with it all stays in a nice bundle where they all lock together. Well, that's okay.
And you can stack them, and I like that.
Exactly.
That's
no
really
cables,
nice.
no mess, no fuss.
And one of the things Apple has really done, thank you, Macintosh, and thank you, Steve Jobs, is make aesthetics be important. And so these things are designed to work with the iMac, but now we all benefit from good-looking devices.
You can't hardly sneeze without it landing on something that comes in 5 different colors.
What do we got here? This is
preposterously evil. It's wonderful.
This is evil? It's
evil.
So good it's bad?
In the wrong hands, it could be evil.
What is it?
It turns your Macintosh into a remote control, which seems like a very simple, stupid thing, but it's all Apple scriptable, which means that if you have a DSS system...
What is this? What is this called?
This is known as the Zephyr, Z-E-P-H-I-R. It's made by a company called Studio Z.
So I plug this into my
ADB port, the USB port.
Yeah, they better, because there's no more ADB.
Absolutely.
And then what? Then this is a remote control receiver.
They will give you no, it's actually a sender. Right, so it can learn all your remote controls right now, or you can simply download the profile of whatever hardware you have.
And then I'll use AppleScript, which is Apple's programming.
Do whatever you want. You can have it whenever your phone rings. Tell this thing to please mute your stereo so people don't go. You can have it turn on your VCR.
This is evil.
Exactly.
I love it. That's
great.
Hands. How much will that be? Do you know?
That's only going to be about $59. They're pricing it loaded. To move.
That's a great deal. Now, what else should we show here?
I want to show this first of all.
This is the DeLorme Street Atlas USA,
which you Windows people are familiar with this.
We've had this for years.
Exactly,
yes.
but we've had to wait 2 or 3 years for it to come out for Macintosh. And the great thing is, this is indicative of the new position that Apple has and Macintosh has in the industry. People who didn't want to even bother to update their products for Macintosh were banning it. Now it's, oh, geez,
that's good news.
We need to make some money off of these guys, so let's please rush our new products in.
Now, they do a GPS receiver, and that's one of the nice things about having this is it'll work with the GPS receiver.
It'll work with TripMate. It'll also work with your Garmin, your Fugabi, any other GPS receiver that uses standards.
All right, I'm not going to show the hood. I'm just going to ask you, how was your Macworld Expo? Are you glad you went?
Very glad I went. I came with a beta test of the Boston version of the flu that you're all having, but it's absolutely much better.
What do I do? I put this on here?
You put this on your head, and then you will say, oh,
no, come on. What is this?
I am. This is really cool. All you pasty computer people like me, you can drop this over your PowerBook screen or your iBook screen.
Oh, you never have to go outside again.
Right, and it folds up in that nice little tiny package.
That's good. That's so you can do it outside. I love that. And people will think you're really weird.
Exactly.
Andy, always great to see you. You come out anytime you want. You come on my show.
You'll regret saying that.
No, I will not, I promise. Andy and Akko, there's lots more about the Macworld Expo at the Call for Help website, including links to Steve Jobs' speech, reviews of the many Apple's new products and latest technologies, and even Andy's plans for making a Macquarium. Absolutely. They have a home now at ZDTV.com/call-for-help, and you have a home here anytime you want to come in. If you can just figure out how to put this back in that. All right, we're gonna test your tech knowledge as we test Andy's dexterity in our daily quiz. Go to the website, ZDTV.com/call-for-help. Click on today's quiz. If you get it right, you're going to be in that drawing for a year's classes at smartplanet.com, the online learning site. Now, here's today's quiz. What is SSL? Ooh, we haven't talked about this yet. Is it a chat software, an internet security protocol, a high-speed access, or a secret society of Laportians? SSL. Ooh. Get to the website, give me your answer, and we'll talk about SSL in just a bit on Call for Help. Just stuff that in there. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Hey, buddy, come here. I got something free for you. Every day on the Call for Help website, it's a link to the free file of the day. Something cool, something new, something free you can download from the ZDNet software library. Today, it's TaskZip, a program that will automatically back up your data into little zip files that you can view with any zip program, including TaskZip. A really great way to back up, and because you can back them up to other folders, other directories, even other disks, you're able to make good backup copies of your data all the time, automatically in the background. This is I haven't played with it too much, but I have to say this is the kind of program you should be using to make your backups because it works unattended. It's called TaskZip. We had a little trouble installing it. We needed to install a file from our Windows 98 system disk. You might find the same thing. If it asks for a control32.ocx control, you'll want to get that off your Windows 98 disk, and that should get it working, okay? I like it. TaskZip for free. Tune in every day to see what fresh, free goodies you can download on Call for Help. Let's check in with the chat room in the Call for Help. Folks are talking about the Macintosh operating system, OS 9, morphing into OS X, we now have to call it. They're probably trying to play off the popularity of Unix operating systems and the X window manager, maybe. I don't know. I thought it was OS 10. Apple was telling us to call it OS 10 for a long time, and now all of a sudden it's OS X again. Jeez, you can't keep up, can you? You want to join us in the chat room? That's the best way to find out what's really going on out there in the world. We got some smart people ready to help you out. www.zdtv.com/call4help. Bill's our next caller from Nestor Falls, Ontario, Canada. Hello, Bill.
Hi, Leo.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am so wonderful. You watch us on C-band or what?
No, on digital.
Okay, we won't go into the details.
Okay.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. So what can I do for you, Bill?
Well, I had a problem with an online vendor.
Yes.
And which I've since resolved.
Good.
But my question was, is there a website or somewhere that I could go to file a complaint?
Right.
If something like this happens again, so that other people know about it, or that I can go to and look at and see if this company has ripped somebody off.
Yeah, and actually, we did a little work on your behalf, so I'm glad to hear that you've resolved it. Your site, I'm going to name names because I believe in that. was freeloadhits.com, which was an MP3 music site, a download site.
Right.
And you were unable to download anything.
Right.
So you asked for your money back, right?
Right.
What happened?
Well, they wouldn't give me my money back. I had used my...
How did you resolve it?
Well, I finally got it to work.
Okay.
They made some changes. They were having problems at their end.
They fixed it.
And they got it so it could work, but I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to get it to work. And
well, I'm glad you called us. Now, normally we don't have the bandwidth to do a lot of consumer advocacy, so I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do on your own, okay?
Okay.
The first thing is, when one of these things happens again, the first thing is figure out who they are.
Right.
And now, if you go to Network Solutions, which is networksolutions.com, and click on this Who Is lookup, you can actually look up any address and find out who owns it.
Okay.
So if I type in freeloadhits.com, I can do a search on it, and I can find out, as we did, that they're in Samoa. Okay? Now, before I give anybody a credit card, I'm going to want to do this and find out where they are. And you know what? If they're in Samoa, or if they're overseas, if they're offshore, that, not Canada, obviously, but if they're somewhere where maybe the copyright laws aren't as strong or so forth, that is a sign of something to be worried about, okay? Right. And certainly to just keep in mind. Now, you asked if there's a place to go where you can make a complaint, and there sure is. We all are familiar with the Better Business Bureau. They now have an online site, Better Business Bureau Online. They've got great tips. They've got shopping, and you can make a complaint here. They'll even try to solve your complaint for you. Plus, they have, and I highly encourage that online businesses read this, a draft code of online business practices they're pushing, and I hope people get involved in this process if they're a business online, and certainly become a member of BBB Online, because we do need protections. I mean, these things happen all the time.
Yeah. Well, it was the first time I ever had a real problem, and as it turned out, it's working okay.
Good. Now, you use a credit card, so of course your court of first resort is the credit card company.
Well, they wouldn't do anything. And I don't know if that's a Canadian thing.
I don't know. It may be that you'd had the account too long, or for one reason or another they felt. It's different if you don't get merchandise.
Yeah.
A subscription to an online site might be a little bit more complicated. Here's another great place, fraud.org, the Fraud Information Center. Lots of information here about the kinds of online frauds you might run into, okay? And another site we recommend, Scam Busters. We have links to all these sites, by the way, on the website. Very important that you have the same kind of take the same kind of precautions you would with any mail order situation when you do stuff on the web. It's very similar, but the web gives you some tools that you might not have online, like finding out where those people are, their actual location and address. Thank you, Bill. I'm glad you resolved the problem, and I'm glad that we could take this opportunity to tell people what to do first, okay? Stick around, folks. We're not done yet. We've got today's news story, the Mac World Mac Tip of the Day, and more when Call for Help continues. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here, answering your questions, talking high-tech, helping you with your personal confuser. If you've got one, you might want to write down this number, 888-989-7879. That's my toll-free number for help and reassurance and succor in time of need. This is the place where we'll commiserate with your computer problems. You can also visit us in chat, which is a lot of fun, and you'll find some people there who will help you out, too. It's ZDTV.com/call-for-help. We have a lot of fun in the chat room and online. I'm glad you're watching the show today. As always, about halfway through, I'd like to check in with our colleagues in the newsroom, see what's going on in the world around us. Victoria Ricano is here with the latest news. What's new?
Hi, Leo.
Hey, Victoria.
Leo, how would you like a talking refrigerator?
Depends what it would say, I guess.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't want it to tell you not to eat anymore.
Yes, I would. That's exactly what... Get out of here, Leo.
I wouldn't. Well, once they were science fiction dreams, but now they're getting ready for prime time. The stars of the Winter Consumer Electronics Show are talking refrigerators, thinking dishwashers, and tires that tell you when they're running low on air. Janet Yee has more from CES in Las Vegas.
With all all the people in here, it seems like the house of the future is what people are interested in.
It certainly is. The so-called e-home is what many of us in the industry are exploring these days.
So let's explore, too. In the future, your TV could be your monitor, and it will likely be interactive.
You would have the opportunity to click on web-like buttons and images and go out and either surf the internet for additional information, or if it's a sporting event, learn more about your favorite sports star's stats.
And in the kitchen, often the center of attention in many homes, a new device, Intel's information appliance. Not available yet, but it will run on a Celeron processor using the Linux operating system.
This idea would be part of a DSL or high-speed modem connection that's always on. Any family member could walk into perhaps the kitchen as we are here, click on the screen, get their messages. You can see there are scrolling messages here for Nicole, the daughter who's gotten into trouble. You are grounded.
Yeah, and say I'm Nicole. Well, being sent to my room, my digital room, is not exactly punishment.
You know, most people think of Intel as the company that makes the Pentium chip. Well, things are changing, and people like to have fun. Intel's figuring that one out. Welcome to the kids' room of the future.
But we're taking years of digital imaging expertise and computer-based digital imaging expertise and marrying it up with the toy expertise of Intel. And out come these products.
Once you get tired of the digital home, what, take it on the road?
You can take it on the road. That's right. The e-home can go mobile.
Yes, an e-car, Audi's vision of the future. A car with a PC on board and in the dash, a global positioning satellite.
Voice commands are used to activate not only this system, but also, more important in some respects, the cellular phones.
Internet connectivity, how does it happen?
Because we have a full capable Pentium processor-based PC built into the car, and of course we have telephone connectivity through cellular phone technology for not only our normal voice calls, we can also surf the internet.
Let's emphasize that the passenger should be doing that.
And if you're a backseat passenger, enjoy the ride with DVD. If you like all this, the industry says you'll have to wait 3 to 5 years. But this one, well, it is the prototype.
The key. The person with the key wins the car.
That was Janet Yu reporting from Las Vegas. The Consumer Electronics Show wraps up today. Leo, back to you.
Janet was having way too much fun down there.
Yeah, she was hoping the key won her the car.
Those are really fun conventions. You know, you and I have been to Comdex a couple of years in a row. But have you ever been to a CES?
No, not yet. Hopefully next year.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's so many toys, and it's just really an amazing event.
Looks like fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria.
Thanks, Leo.
We'll
Have
talk
a good
to you
weekend.
later. All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Victoria Ricano in the newsroom for more, of course, on CES and all the latest technology news. You tune into the CDNN reports. They're right here throughout the day on ZDTV, or anytime you want them on the website at zdtv.com. Time for our Mac World Mac tip of the day. Today we're going to let your mouth Mac off. I'm sorry, your Mac mouth off. Something like that. Here from Macworld Magazine via Netcam from Macworld Expo, it is Macworld Stephen Beal. Hello, Stephen.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
I am great. It's good to see you. How's Macworld Expo treating you?
Oh, it's just treating me well. It's a real great show here.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. For a couple of years, Macworld Expo was kind of a downer as the Macintosh was on its downslide with Gil Amelio and everything. But in the last couple of years, it's been really wonderful, hasn't it?
Oh, it sure has. Lots of new products and lots of enthusiasm.
A real celebration.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
We have a real positive attitude now in the Mac market.
All right. I'm glad to hear it. Now, this is, if you had a positive attitude, here's a program guaranteed to, I don't know what, to make you mad. In the spirit of Talking Moose, it's called, what is it called, Heck 2000?
It is, the actual software is called DeskBots.
Okay.
And there are various personalities, one of which is Heck 3000.
Yeah, I have Heck Classic, Heck 3000, Holiday Heck, Micro Heck. I even have
so those are basically what you would call skins. So there are different looks for this little device, which basically takes your user-friendly Mac and makes it kind of, gives it a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah, if I click on it, you'll hear what he's talking about.
Right. Just kind of click around.
That tickles. You know, those are very delicate.
let me try a different personality. Which is your favorite in here, Stephen?
Oh, I kind of like Heck 3000. You might try the holiday one, though, considering the time of year. That's kind of cute.
All right. Let me do Heck 3000 for a little bit.
Unfortunately, you dork.
It's using the built-in Mac speech synthesizer, isn't it?
That's correct. It's using the voices that are built into your Mac, and there is a way to change the voice that it's using.
I kind of like this.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it says stop touching me. All right, I will.
Now, here's a little tip that you can do with this program. It's not doesn't work in the way that some Mac programs work. If you want to move that thing around the window, you want to click on that white dot.
The white dot's the grab. I see, and then I get a little grab bar.
You'll get a little bar at the top, and you can move it around.
That's a good thing to know.
Yeah, I was wondering how to do that because it kind of looked like it was stuck there in the corner.
It's DeskBots, and it is available from Timothy Brown, available at macdownload.com.
That's correct.
And a fun little program. I like it. Is this free or shareware?
It's shareware. I believe it's a $15 registration.
But you can play with it for free for a while. And
that's right.
Probably by the time you're through with it, you don't want to pay for it anyway. Hey, thank you, Stephen.
Okay, Leo. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it. Have fun at Macworld Expo.
Okay.
I'm going to click on him, won't I? This is the holiday one. Don't go away. The live lines are open. And the answer to your toughest computer question may just be minutes away.
Please don't touch that.
Oh,
It'll blow out all of the Christmas lights.
It's a beauteous thing, isn't it? It's our Call for Help webpage. I love the gorgeous green and yellow colors. And of course, the information here is just marvelous. You know, if you want to know more about what's going to be on your favorite television show in the coming week, click on this link here. Coming up, Call for Help schedule for the week. You'll see exactly what we're going to be covering every day of the upcoming week, including Saturday and Sunday, where we rebroadcast some of our favorite episodes from the week gone by. www.zdtv.com/call-for-help. It's the Call for Help webpage, and we make it every day fresh just for you. David's on the line from Manheim, Pennsylvania. Hello, David.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
I need to get my IP address because I got some games today because it's my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday. How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
It's a big one. You're going to be a teenager next year, huh?
Yeah.
Your dad letting you drive the tractor yet?
Nope.
Just kidding. So what games did you get?
I got Power
Carmageddon,
Slide.
and he's not going to let you drive. What? Go ahead.
I got Power Slide and a couple other games.
Great. That's fun. Power Slide, what is that? Is that a scheme?
That's like a driving game.
Figured. All right. Why is it, those of us who drive all the time, the last thing I want to do is a driving game. But kids who can't drive, that's what they want to do, drive, right?
Yeah.
So you need your IP address, which is your internet address, so you can play other people on the internet.
Yeah.
Your friends and get a game going and stuff like that. I'll show you a very easy way to find out what your internet address is, okay? This is really handy, too. And one of the reasons you want to do this is if you've got a dial-up internet connection, as most people do over a modem, almost always your internet address changes each time you log in. Your internet service provider is given a pool of addresses, and he assigns it at random to you when you call in. So here's what you do. You click your start button, just like this. And you should do this after you dial in, okay?
Okay.
So you'll dial and you'll get online, and that's when your IP address is assigned. Click Run, and then type this, WINIPCFG. That's short for config. WinIPCFG. He's doing it right now, ladies and gentlemen. I can hear him clicking away. Let's select OK. Now, you have to select the adapter you're using. You're probably going to be using the dial-up adapter, so select that, and we'll tell you what your IP address is. We don't have one, so you see it? Yeah. Ours is 000 because we're not using a dial-up adapter. We're on an Ethernet adapter. So it just depends on what adapter. Make sure you choose the right one. If you're on AOL, choose the AOL adapter. If you're on a regular dial-up adapter, choose dial-up. And that's where it says your IP address.
Okay. I'd like to say hi to Bruce and Paul.
Say hi to who?
Bruce and Paul.
All right, Bruce and Paul. Are they the guys you play the games with?
Yep.
Cool. And are they 12 also, or are they still 11?
No, they're a little older than me.
A little older, huh?
Yeah.
They're leading you down the path. Sure, he said. Hey, it's great to talk to you. Happy birthday. Are you doing anything to celebrate? Is today your actual birthday?
Yeah. I had my cake and stuff.
Yeah, cake and stuff. Do you have a party, or are you going to go out to dinner, or what?
No, I just had dinner at my house.
All right, cool. All right. Well, happy birthday to you, and I'm glad I could celebrate with you a little bit. Do we have anything we could explode to celebrate your birthday here? Give me one of those. Give me one. Wait, hold on a second. We have these left over from our New Year's Eve party. They're looking. Look at this. They're searching through. Look at this. Searching through. I got everybody in the entire studio looking for something I can explode for you. Give me a hat. That's good. This is for you. This is for your birthday party, okay? Happy birthday. Woo! Woo! We're going to take a break. But first, test your technology in our daily quiz. Here's how this works. If you know the answer, go to the Call for Help website at ZDTV.com. Click on the quiz. Get it right. Your name's going to be in the drawing for a full year of classes for online learning at smartplanet.com. Our quiz of the day. A dud. What is SSL? Is it chat software, internet security protocol, high-speed access, or the secret society of Laportians? Get to the website. Give us your answer, and we'll tell you when Call for Help continues right after this. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you what SSL is, and the answer is it's the Internet Security Protocol. It's short for Secure Sockets Layer, but you don't really need to know that. I mean, it's just a way for you to get online with a merchant or a bank and operate securely, so people can't see what you're doing. I hope you got that right. What is Secure Socket Layer? Wow, that's an obscure one. The problem with being a geek, if you haven't noticed, besides the weird laugh, is that you sit in a chair for too many hours a day, potentially turning certain fleshy parts of your body into rippling masses of nastiness. I submit myself, Your Honor. For the past few days, we've been talking about New Year's resolutions, and now Martin Sargent will round out the week by making us less round, using exercise equipment that can convert you from geek slob to Greek god. And Martin, you're looking very Greek goddish right now.
I know. I've been working hard, Leo.
You look like a string bean in that pantsuit. What the heck is this all about?
This is my exercise suit. I got this for the holidays.
Very festive. Yeah. Red and green.
Thank you.
Now, we're now having trouble getting this Ultra Coach working, so I don't know if we're going to be able to demonstrate this. But you are riding. You could slow down. You're riding. This is your bike, right?
This is my bike. It's a regular mountain bike.
Okay.
And I've got it attached to this menorah cradle on the back wheel.
Now, I've seen those before just for people who want to train.
Right. They only cost about $180. Now, that's steep, but what it allows you to do is ride your bike indoors without going anywhere, so you don't crash into the living room wall or something.
Right.
And you can pedal your heart out, and you're not going to move.
Okay.
Now, that's cool, but the really cool part comes in when you attach the interactive cycling experience device to it, all right?
Yeah.
So what that does is actually a serial port down there. That attaches to my PC, and what it allows me to do is virtually race all sorts of different world-famous courses, such as the Ironman course in Kona, Hawaii, the Tour de France. I can even race through the canals in Mars.
All right, now I've got
virtually on my PC.
This program running. This is connected. The hardware is connected via serial port to this little doohickey on the back. Now it says start an Ultra Coach VR
session. Let's start it up.
Right?
Let's see what happens.
All right, let's see. I want to look at the settings real quickly and make sure that we're connected, because I tried this before. So you enter in your heart rate, your target heart rate, and so forth, various things like that. We press next. We're going to start a single session. Now, is your exercise equipment properly connected and turned on?
It should be.
All right.
It should be.
Would you connect, make sure the connection in the back, Robert, is on the serial port?
Of course. The nice thing about
Was this ever working?
Yes.
Okay. Minutes ago, this was working. Of course, as soon as we turn on the cameras, everything stops working.
So, yeah.
It's connected. We're going to get Robert Heron in here to make sure. All right.
I'm not saying this is better than taking a bike ride outside.
No, but you would put this on.
But if it's raining outside, if it's sleeting, or if you live in a city like I do, I don't like to ride my bike in the city because I go a block and I have to stop. I go another block and I have to stop. It is very cool, I think.
I still would want to ride outside, but this is a motivator if you're going to ride inside.
On the screen now is the start of the race. You can see it's much like a regular video game. Really, what I have here is a massive input device.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, massive and expensive.
Yeah. This
How much is
$600 for the interactive cycling experience?
Okay. And the software comes with it, right?
That comes with the virtual code software.
There you go. Oh, you're moving. You're moving. Not very fast, Marty. You better pick up the space.
Hey, I'm in the lead. I don't see anyone else.
You're going. Your current speed is 23 miles an hour, but it's downhill. Look at this. Is kind of, see, I could see. I would enjoy exercise.
Yeah, this makes it fun, right? Another cool thing, when I start to go up a hill, it's going to make it more difficult for me to pedal.
Oh, it does.
Vice versa when I go down a hill.
You're man. Come on, hurry up. This is great. I love this. All right, look at him. He's pedaling like crazy. I'm just going to let Marty go. All right, so this is good. Does it hook up to any other devices besides Yes, let him go.
Yeah, it does. Actually, this doesn't, but this software can be used with Nordic Tracks. It can be used with stationary bicycles. It can even be used with wheelchairs. All sorts of different exercise equipment you can race with.
Would it be a different kind of race, or is it always a bike race?
Oh, I'm not sure. No, it would be a different kind of race.
A Stairmaster race would be kind of a weird race.
Yeah.
We'd be all going like
Now, notice on my finger here, I've got a...
What's that?
It's checking my pulse, so my heart rate is being monitored.
All right.
The whole time, and if you could actually see it, it would be off the clock right now.
Yeah. So this goes on your finger, but that's important because you want to make sure your pulse rate isn't too high, so you're not going to give yourself thrombosis, but you also want it high enough so you're actually getting some exercise.
Another good way of measuring your heart rate is with one of these Polar watches.
Look at this.
I've got the Polar M52 on my wrist.
Is this the one? He was jumping around in the office earlier today.
Let's check my heart rate right now. I'm actually wearing an electrode on my chest.
Inside there?
Yeah, see,
very
the electrode.
That's good. All the girls are
going to increase ratings, right?
I don't think so.
So my heart rate right now.
What's your heart rate?
Is 151. That's really high. You can tell that I just made this New Year's resolution.
Wait, you moved it. Come on, we're going to get a nice shot of it. Just keep going. I know you're missing some oxygen, but there it is. So that's down to 139 now.
See, there it goes down.
This is a regular watch as well. So
yeah, it's also a watch, the stopwatch. Pretty cool stuff.
How much is that watch?
This watch is $180. Now, it's also going to calculate my calorie burning as I work out.
Now, this has RF transmitters?
Yes, it is. There's an RF transmitter in here and an RF receiver in the watch.
So that way you don't have to have a wire going down.
Exactly. There's no wire attached in these at all. Okay. And you can actually wear these in the pool.
Really?
It's amazing, yeah. In fact, to get them to work, you have to lick the electrodes in the back before you stick it to your chest.
That could be fun. What is this?
That's my own personal trainer. You know, I figured I had to get a personal trainer. Jerry Day, the producer, said I had to bulk up 15 pounds for this episode. So I got myself one of those. And what I do, if you switch the software to... there's another application on there. No, actually on the PC. What happens is there's a database in there, and I enter in the different routines that I want to do. Okay. And then through that infrared port in the cradle there, that's going to input all of those routines into that, and I can take that to the gym, and it's going to guide me through the process, okay?
Well, that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
So now, how smart is this? Does it have, I mean, does it have to really know some good exercise routines or what?
Virtually any exercise routine you can think of is already in the database. All you have to do is move it into that device through the infrared port. Okay, and as I'm exercising, say I put in, I want to do 100 sit-ups. I say that I input into the device. Well, I only got 85 done. And then when I go back home, that information is stored into the PC, and I can track my progress. And again, it can track caloric burning and all of that sort of thing.
So I've got my trainer schedule here, all the stuff I'm doing, and then you keep this and you enter it in. So the idea is this is kind of taking your database along with you, so you can update it as you go. Now, come on, let's be honest, Martin. Just between us guys, there's nobody watching. Would you buy any of this stuff?
Nope. Nope.
Too expensive.
But it's pretty fun. It is too expensive. Like I said, to get this stuff here, that's going to cost you $800.
That's ridiculous.
That personal trainer there is $250.
This strikes me as one of a lot of devices that are out there in the world that make people feel like they're doing something.
Exactly.
But actually,
I think they buy them just so they can look cool and like a Didgeridoo at the gym.
Yeah,
but still, it is kind of a
what I do like is the idea of putting something on the screen while I'm biking. Besides Oprah, you know. So
it's better than sitting in the chair playing a game. At least you're doing something active and you're burning some calories and getting yourself in better shape for the new year.
Cool. Neat stuff. Well, we put you to work. You can take a nap now.
I need to. I'm dying.
You really own this? Is this really yours? For more information, do you go to the gym in that, or you just lounge around?
I don't go to the gym.
For more information about everything we've just seen and links to all the relevant hardware and software sites, be sure to read Martin's article at ZDT, which is the hardest work of all, isn't it? Writing that article at ZDTV.com/call for help. I love it, Martin. I just love seeing Marty try these things out, jumping around, doing jumping jacks all over the office with his little heart monitor on. It's great. We're going to say a hearty congrats right now to winners of our daily quiz who have now all have 1-year subscriptions to Smart Planet, a world of learning online. Forrest Brody of Van, Texas, congratulations. Wendy Gennaros of Waterford, Connecticut. Langston Boyles of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Steve Bogan of Kihei, Hawaii. All right, Steve. And Danny Day of Dallas, Texas. All of you are big winners. Thanks for watching Call for Help, and congratulations. That was exhausting, wasn't it? Welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte. Let's check in with the chat room, see what they're talking about today. those health gadgets, I guess, wowed them. They're interested in the various things Martin showed. You know, it's amazing what they're putting in watches now, not just pulse meters. Jim showed us at CES a cell phone I think Samsung's making, and Andy, we didn't get a chance to see it, but Andy brought back from Macworld Expo a whole PDA in a watch, everything, your date book, your calendar, that's the same thing, isn't it, your address book, even games, you know, a little wristwatch-sized device. Really amazing what they're putting in those wristwatches these days. It's kind of a Dick Tracy thing, isn't it? If you want to join us in the chat room, ZDTV.com/call-for-help's the website. Just click on Interact and get on in there with us, all right? Let's check in with some of the email that we've been getting during the show today. Got this one from Stephen, Germany, in Chelsea, Oklahoma. How about repeating the info about sending V-mails? Yes, please, send us V-mails. Those are video emails. If you have a video email package, there's two ways to do it. You can go to the Interact page on our website and follow that process there, or you can simply use your V-mail package to V-mail us at cfhvmail@zdtv.com. That's the address for V-mail addresses, cfhvmail@zdtv.com. And, Stephen, I'll be looking for yours. Let me find another one. Here's one that says, a quick note to thank you for your genealogy segment on yesterday's show. Like your guest, I just got into it recently. He met relatives for the first time last summer, who he was able to actually get in touch with. It's really kind of a neat story about his family tree. I thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Dagur in Pennsylvania wants to know which processor chip I'd go with if I bought a new PC, Pentium 3 or Athlon. Boy, they're both really, really good. Right now, AMD's Athlon is a little bit faster. We're going to talk about this in a little bit more detail on Tuesday. I guess some of it depends on what you're doing, but, you know, both of them are very, very good. So it would be hard to pick one or the other one. They're both just excellent. Let me see here. I want to make sure I had one more. Oh, this is from Dale, and actually I want to elaborate a little bit. I'm not sure if I understand what Steve Jobs has announced. Is he saying you need to buy a new computer to have OS X? Yes. If you want to run the new operating system for the Macintosh, you need to have at least a G3-based Macintosh. If you have an older Macintosh, OS X will not run on it. He says, I work in a school and have MCA with OS 9, or Mac with OS 9. It's 3 years old. He says, I'm saying yes. That's exactly what Steve Jobs is saying. Even a 3-year-old Mac will not run OS X. You need to have a G3. That's part of the price that people are paying for moving into the future. I think it's not a great news, but that's what Apple's decided to do. Okay? So I thank you for all the questions, the calls, the comments. I thank you for watching. I really appreciate your patronage. We know you have many other choices on the television dial. We're glad you came here. Coming up on the next Call for Help, you've heard all about the fanfare about DVDs, but how do they work? And what's going to happen to all your CDs? DVD, ROMs, RAMs, even DivX coming up on our next show. That's it for this edition of Call for Help. I'll see you later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.